Hey, you guys, it's me, Renaissance Marie Austin. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, listen, I have been trying to get here for a long time and upload some new videos. When I tell you, life has been very eventful. I have so much to share with you, so many blessings, so many learning lessons. Currently, I am here at the Roadway Inn. That would be nice if I could set it up, but my tripod is somewhere in my car, which is at my brother's house, which is not like far from here. So it is what it is. It's a little low. Um, I'm like thinking, how can I be creative? Anywho, guys, okay. There's a lot that I have to organize and so many videos that I still have to shoot, okay? Not even edit. I still have to shoot them. But I want to start with one thing, okay? I've already written it in my blog article on my public diary, public journal. Again, it is renaissancemarieaustin.com. And it's not anything that I really promote. I have been writing in journals since I was 12 years old. And I think it was in 2020 where I decided, you know what, like after I graduated college, I was thinking about doing a lot of journaling again. And I was just like, why do this privately? Like, let me just write how I feel on my other blog that I don't even use. So it is what it is, okay? I don't even allow comments there, and I'm not trying to like grow an audience or anything like that. I'm so over all of that, but more on that later. Okay, let me just start with January 1, 2022, okay? It really began with a very intentional decision to heal from all of my lifetime trauma, family, workplace, everything, okay? So before I share that, let me just say, I'm just here at an inn near my brother's house because I am taking a break from his house for like 4 days. And I have moved from Rancho Cucamonga, California. I moved from there August 1. The month definitely has been eventful. I probably moved every week since then, just sort of working things out. But let me tell you guys why. I don't even know if my blog post says why. Maybe it might. But guys, I finally have received a manifestation of a vision that was given to me when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I know I was a toddler, and the vision has come to fruition, even if it's not the career that I initially thought it would be. But the items connected to this vision is exactly what I saw as a child. So I'm just going to tell you guys that I am becoming a full-time flight attendant with an airline company. I never dreamed in my life that I would become a flight attendant. And I would say that when I was like 5 years old, I literally saw airplanes, hotels, and I could always see myself inside of this car with a black interior or dark interior, and there was always a man driving in the front, and I was always in the back seat, as if I was like being chauffeured or just driven around. And I had this innate sense, yes, as a toddler, that I would not really live anywhere. Like, seriously, I never saw myself living in a house or just, I knew that travel would be a huge part of my life and that I would see the world. That was the main thing. And I knew this. I knew this as a toddler. I just thought I would be Whitney Houston since I knew how to sing really well. I was like, oh, well, if I follow Whitney Houston's footsteps, then yeah, I'll be on planes and I'll be touring and I'll be in hotels and I'll have a driver. Like, that's how I associated the vision with a singing career, really. But just know that the source, the giver of life, I can't speak for everybody, but orchestrates my life, okay? And when I got hired and I took some time to reflect on the whole process, I was like, everything that I've done in life has led up to this moment. Seriously, guys, I'm not going to tell you everything about that right now. I am going to save that for another time, but let me just talk about healing and trauma, okay? Make the choice now, because this is the time for your change, for your healing. This is the time for you to just find freedom, truth, and to prosper. Period. Period. Okay. I've written this down. This is the most organized thing that I have. So in my blog article, renaissancemarieaustin.com, I want to say that perhaps most of you have read my life story already. Okay, it is located on my blog. It is a featured post and it's right there on every page. So if you haven't, you can read it. It's an interesting story. I probably need to do some updating to it, but I will get around to that. And also, I will say that things have turned for the better because enlightenment has come to me in the most interesting ways. And that's just in this year alone. So I have a lot to share with you guys about that. Not everyone's going to agree, not everyone's going to get it, but those who are part of the remnant, who know they are special, will absolutely get it. So it all began January 1, 2022, after a series of events took place over the holidays. Let me explain this. My sister lost her mom between Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2021, and I have been spending a lot of time with my sister and my niece. Like all throughout 2021, they had become vegan because of me. We went to like the Vegan Dell Festival, the first one in Los Angeles. We were able to spend a lot of time because in 2020, my niece was let go from her job, and then my sister was put on remote work. So she is a state worker. They had added me to their podcast. The three of us were just having a ball. And so my understanding was that the plan was for me to move in with them after my sister's mom passed away. And that did not happen. I'm not going to go into detail about that situation, but I'm just going to say that situation was very eye-opening for me. And at the same time, it was the last straw, because what they ended up doing was going ahead and turning my sister's mom's room into an office. And it was like my niece was like, yeah, we really want you to stay with us. Like for her to look at me in my eye and say, yeah, we really would love for you to stay with us, but you turn the room into your office. And like literally, they kept telling me this for a whole year. And so imagine being told something and it turns out that people didn't keep the word that they kept. Now, it's totally fine because when I look at the next process C, the things that happen after that, you will realize that at a certain point in your life, you will begin to let those kind of situations just roll off your back, roll off your shoulders. If you are connected to the source, the giver of life, and you put your trust in the source, then you will know that all of these things that happen over here, this situation that happens over there, whatever happens in front of you, whatever happens behind you, it's all for a reason. It's all for a reason. And if you are not reactive, right? If you keep your peace and you know your truth, everything is going to work out in your favor. I really believe that. It worked out in my favor. I really, really believe that. So let me continue on, and I'm going to go ahead and read this part here, and I'm going to ask you, if you want to know how to truly change your life and get a handle on your emotions and thoughts, this is how you do that. Intention. One word. Intention. I've literally experienced this, and I'm going to say there is more to the science of this intention, of which I will write about in another post. But at the top of the year, I made a very intentional decision to finally and fully heal from all of the family and workplace trauma I had experienced over my life. And what happened over the holidays was the last straw for me. When I tell you, I needed time. I needed time. My heart was broken. It was. I needed time to process everything. So I started with a 30-day hiatus from people in the world to evaluate that particular situation, as well as reflect on all the things that had happened to me, the good and the bad. It seems to me that if you are the type of person who strives to continuously improve within, at some point in your life, you will get to a place where letting go becomes uberly the most real it has ever been. Like, this was the most real for me. Come January 1, 2022, I landed in that place. I was done with trying to hold on, feeling disappointed, angry, and being in denial about who and what everyone truly was to me, both friends and family. I mean, I'm telling you, I was tired. This was the finality of tired, of which I could not continue another year. Letting go meant that I was not going to cry or feel sad about what should or could have been. I was not going to allow past hurts to dictate my future plans or interactions with people crossing my path somewhere down the road. So I got serious about my affirmations. I have been listening to them previously, but with distractions. Guys, that's why I say intention is so important, because like when people say like, oh, you can meditate, you can listen to affirmations, you can do all of these things. You can do those things, but you can do them with distraction. You can do them and not really be serious. You could just do them out of habit. And a lot of things will not change. That's why I understood that intention was like the key thing for me, okay? If it's something else for you, comment below. Let me know how your life, like truly life-changing experience was, and what that key action or key word was for you. So letting go meant that I was not going to cry or feel sad about what I should or could have been. I was not going to allow past hurts to dictate my future plans or interactions with people crossing my path somewhere down the road. So I got serious about my affirmations. I had been listening to them previously, but with distraction. This time I set a goal of immersing myself deeply into my affirmations for 30 days, giving them my full attention. And boy, did I really see the power of energy, which is another subject I will talk about specifically another time. This goes to show that if there is no true intention behind something you are doing, there may be no results. I want to make sure I reiterate that I only saw a change in energy when I got focused, serious, and removed all distractions. So daily, upon waking up, throughout the hours, and during sleep, I played affirmations. I have very specific YouTube channels I follow because, again, energy is specialized. It is important that it is important that if you are going to involve yourself with affirmations and learn meditation, you must first research hertz, sound frequency units, and have some knowledge of the ins and outs of meditation. You should know what you are doing. Fortunately, I learned sound frequency in music production. I'm so glad that I learned that. It made all the difference in the world. I learned this in college, and this knowledge was a game changer. Scientific data shows that sound frequencies biologically affect the human body in both positive and negative ways, which usually takes place through music consumption. Have you noticed how much sound baths, vibrations, calming, soothing music has grown in the past decade? Now, I don't know, I'm 43 years old, so I feel like after a certain time, if you live at least 30 years, 40 years, you start to see these like trendy sort of things happening every decade. And there's a lot that you can compare to your childhood, to your teenagehood, to your early 20s. And it's something about like once you get past 30 and once you get past 40 where you get a sense like there really is nothing new under the sun. Everything is being recycled. Like today I was at the market across the street. I'm looking at all of these like celebrity gossip magazines, and there's like Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett and Brad Pitt, and I'm just thinking like, I was like, Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, I was like, they still on the cover of celebrity gossip magazines? Like, of course they are, because old things, history, must continuously be recycled for the youth, right? For those who are 10, 11, 12 years old and who are now 20 years old. And that's just how the world is. This is a very psychological world and psychological country, of which I will talk more about another time. Okay, where did I leave off? So again, if you've noticed if you're old enough to notice how certain things rise up in popularity and there is a reason for that, then you'll know what it is that I'm talking about. So let's see here. YouTube has always been an outlet, but now we have apps and various tools to help positively charge our environments. My goal was to raise my frequency by one, taking a break from listening to commercial music, including Billy's music. Yes, y'all. I actually took a break from Billy. Okay, like for real I did. And two, taking in instrumental triumphant music in the mornings. This type of music may be... Okay, I see I have a typo. Okay, I will fix that. This type of music made me feel mentally strong and victorious. I felt as though I could tackle the day with confidence and without worry. Thirdly, I consumed the I am affirmations. I could either only listen to or repeat them out loud. Although I find that most times it is best to just sit, I actually like standing. I like standing. Find what works for you, because some people say sit on the floor or lay on the floor or sit on a pillow or sit in a chair. I like standing. I like standing in silence, and I like listening to the I am affirmations. There is a time to repeat them, but I would say to listen to your gut on that one. And so, what I mean by that is sometimes like us talking can be a distraction. So for me, I would just listen to the I am affirmations in silence and just like close my eyes and listen. Because it's the same thing when you're in conversation with someone, and to intentionally lend your ear to someone means for you to sit there and not say anything. And if they're going like this, not for you to even be like, oh yeah, oh my gosh, yes. Oh, no, it's like let them talk and just sit there and listen. Tune your ears in. Because sometimes the responses could be a distraction. The back and forth could be a distraction. And again, there is a time when it's appropriate to repeat them, because yes, but again, you got to use your gut on that one. What else? Let's see. Another important factor about the I am affirmations is to make sure they match where you are mentally and spiritually at the given moment. You could write your own, but sometimes a person is not in the proper mental state to write their own affirmations, especially in the midst of healing. Besides, there are plenty of amazing I am affirmations out there that will fit perfectly with where you are and take you to where you need to be. You need to search for what is right for you and create a playlist. I found that I am affirmations gave me much focus in completing my daily tasks, making me highly productive, and taking away feelings of frustration. Then finally, at night, I would focus on deeper sub-bass frequencies that were soothing for sleeping. It is important to be mindful of the major and minor here. For me, I stuck with the major because it is lightweight and more positive. Even at lower hertz, minor is usually sad and sultry, great for a fire song, but not for the practice of healing. Again, it's different for everyone, but you guys have to know these things so that you are affected in the right way. But more on that later, like more on sound frequencies later. It's crazy the things I've learned just in this year. So I would say, truthfully, gauging various frequencies will help you become more aware of the energies that circulate throughout your system and the world. Look, if you are listening to a sound that makes you feel uneasy, find another sound that makes you feel good and stick with that one. Not everyone knows what they are doing, and some people are purposely putting out dark frequencies. Well, we live in a world of dark and light, and that's just the way it is. So you will also learn how to differentiate between dark and light energies and hopefully operate in the light. One final note about my healing is that instead of being sucked into the current state of the world events, I wanted to be sucked out of all that was and still is happening. As an empath, I was overly affected by all that was going on, and to save my mind, it was important for me to literally rise above the fear and sensationalism of the world we live in. I will talk about this more later, as this is a very detailed subject matter. So let me go on. The affirmations had a positive effect on my daily life. I noticed how when I operated in peace and calm, I was treated differently. People waved at me and came up to me to tell me they noticed me and wanted to simply say hello. I smiled at people, made conversation, and focused on the current moment I was in. I noticed how blue the sky was and how pretty the clouds were. I people watched and contemplated positively. I want to say that the first day, if you guys look here on my channel, the French Cafe, that was like, I think that was the first or second day of the year where I went out and I shot that video that day, And I was literally in the full on tingly glitter and vibrations of positive energy. So if you guys get a chance to look at the French Cafe, which I posted to my TikTok, I put it right here on my page. And that was that day where, like, there literally was this guy, and I think he was dropping off some pastries to the bakery. He was African, but he seemed like he was Afro French because he had an accent, but I don't know if he was Caribbean or whatever. But he literally just came over and he looked, he was like, I just wanted to come over and say hello. He was like, I saw you when I was driving and when I was parking, and I just want to come over and say hello. So when you see me waving in that little short film that I put together, that's me waving to the person. So I just brought my camera and I decided I would just sit down. I would shoot my food and just shoot my little coffee, shoot everything. And like sometimes random stuff just happens when you just keep the camera going. So it was pretty cool. So what else? Okay, let me continue. I did not think ahead, nor did I worry about the future, you guys. Like, that does give me so much tingly peace right now, because being in the moment is really about being in the moment. Practicing that is a practice. I know it can be very difficult to do for a lot of people, but practice being in the moment. Like, all I can do since I moved from Rancho is think about being in Salt Lake and starting my training, and I cannot wait to be on the airplane and be in the sky. But hey, I am in this moment at this place in this room. It's getting a little hot because I cut the air off to do this video. And while I have been resting, there's a lot of work to do, but Spirit was telling me to also rest, like just rest. I'm telling you, for 30 years, I have been going. I have been going for 30 years. So a little bit, 30, 31 years. Okay, so let me continue. I kept up this practice daily without being deterred or shaken whatsoever. Then, guys, 14 days into January, something amazing happened. I received a text message. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Maybe because I'm on my period, but sorry, whatever. 14 days into January, I received a text message from Support and Feed, okay? I know everyone's not going to know like what that is. So Support and Feed is the organization founded and started by Billie Eilish's mom, Maggie Baird. See, I had completely forgotten that I planted a seed sometime in October or early November. I just know that it was for sure before Thanksgiving. It had to have been like late October or super early, right at the start of November, when a text message went out or an email went out calling for new volunteers with no fear or expectation and no hesitation either. I filled out the form. It was like a Google form, and I filled it out and sent it off. So I believe it was like 2 or 3 months had already gone by. Like, I had gone through the holidays, gone through everything. And then by January 16th, guys, I was on a Zoom call hosted by Maggie Baird. I did everything that is normal to do when you are onboarded for organizations like that, the NDAs, volunteer contracts, yada, yada, yada. And there's not much more I'm going to share about that, because I'm only sharing so that you guys can understand that this is a spiritual talk. This is a esoteric talk, okay? so that you guys know, like, that was my first dream, really, of the year fulfilled. That's the first thing that happened to me. So it felt like, oh my gosh, this year is getting off to a great start. Okay. Um, what else did I write here? So I just want you guys to see what faith, harvest, and supernatural orchestration looks like. Now, supernatural orchestration is not like me just sitting back and being like, yeah, whatever I dream of, whatever goals it's like me and the supernatural, we're in partnership. You're not just sitting back praying for something and just being like, okay, it's going to happen. So let me go watch Friends. Let me go watch the Golden Girls and then I'll just wait for it to happen. No, it happened because I planted the seed. Even if I forgot that I planted the seed. Things only come to harvest when seeds are planted. So there's a part that you and I play to in fulfilling our destinations. Okay. So what else did I put? Okay, so I'll be writing. I won't. I mean, if it's necessary, there's not much that I'll be writing about support and feed. There's something else that's so beautiful about it that's connected to my childhood, and I'll share that later. For now, I can confirm that I have been a support and feed volunteer since January 2022. It's a dream fulfilled. It really is. Since 2020, when the initiative first started, I started off as a donor. I was selling a lot of masks in 2020 and just donating a tithe, like 10% to the organization, and also learned a lot about vegan meals. It was one of the things that helped me to go vegan later on in the year, about August, September. And I'm so joyful and so satisfied to be working for this kind of organization and the type of community service that it does. So let me conclude with this. We live and operate through circulating energy within and without. It is much deeper than you know. You and I have the ability to act and react according to energy. Not everything is in our control because we are here to experience lessons that help develop our spiritual being. We do not choose to be born, nor do we choose the family we are born into. And don't get me wrong, there are some great families out there that have done right by their offspring, for sure. But my story is my story, and I am here to tell it. Hopefully, what I have to say will help someone. Then the letting go is just that. Whether someone is your blood relative or not, you have to let go of any and all strongholds, no matter where they come from. No matter where they come from. If you do not, you cannot move forward. That is bad relationships too, guys. That's bad relationships as well. You have to let go. Just because someone is your mother or your father, whether they're there or not, it's such a sad thing. Because when you're a kid, you put the adults on pedestals. They're supposed to know everything. They live life. They've gone before you. They're supposed to school you, warn you, prepare you. But that's not always the case. It's not always the case at all. Sometimes the child ends up being more mature than the parent. So it just is what it is. So let's see. I believe that my very intentional choice to heal and let go of what I believed my immediate family and friends should be to me helped open up the door to this opportunity because I was gauged in a mental reset. Guys, I'm telling you, it's such a spiritual principle. A mental reset. Your life can really change with a mental reset. And preparing myself for the year's blessings. I mean, literally, I was like, I knew. It wasn't one of those things where people are like, "Oh, set your New Year's resolutions." Like it was like I knew. I knew like this is is going to be the year. And it's already September 1st. Boy, this year has gone by and I'm only sharing what happened in January. Okay. So let's see. Keep in mind that even though I planted the seed, does not mean that I would have ever been contacted. I could have been completely ignored, guys. It happens all the time. You've experienced it. I believe it was meant for me to be contacted. I have now moved into a different phase of life because I chose to detach from what was keeping me stuck. Just know that the minute you become serious about healing, people act strangely funny. The truth is, it was inside of them all along, and they have always known the greatness in you, hoping you will never know the greatness inside of you. Guys, that's literally the story of my life. Sometimes being way too humble, having too much humility, and having no awareness of like how people see me and how people perceive me. Once you do, there is nothing they can do about it. Most of the family and friends you thought you knew will be long gone, and you will be pushed into a new community of associates. That has happened to me too, and I have so much more to say about that. I'm still digging into my new tribe, and they're all over the world. Finally, I am excited to share more with you about all the happenings that have taken place over the past several months. I know I do not allow comments on this blog, but if anyone wants to privately share their thoughts about anything I write, please feel free to email me. But of course, that's what I wrote on my blog. Of course, if you guys want to share any thoughts or comments, you can put them right in the comment section. I will have to double check, but I think I might have uploaded. Okay, so I have another video that is edited that I will upload to this channel. I believe I uploaded it to my other channel. And to not make this video too long, I'm at 37 minutes, so we're going to keep it under 40 minutes, okay? I just wanted to start off by sharing that part with you. Guys, I have been doing deliveries for support and feed, pickups, doing the meals, working with Maggie, like this, I almost still cannot believe it. And I don't mean it in a like, oh, a starstruck kind of way. I don't mean it that way. I'm getting emotional again. It's just that even with when I share with you guys about spiritual downloads, or really when we were kids, we were like, oh, I received the revelation, but I like the word download right now. People have been using that a lot, and I like that term. When I share with you the process of how I got my job, then yeah, that'll be one thing. It is on my TikTok actually, so I think I'm just gonna download that and upload it to here and make a playlist. And then you guys can see, I've already broken down how I was able to get my job. So, but yeah, it's just amazing. Someone that I love so much, that I've been able to spend time with their mom, and just the type of community service that they do brings me full circle to my childhood. So, because we do a lot of work in the area that I grew up in. So, more on that later. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Again, let's conversate. There's more to come, okay? Be blessed. And thank you for welcoming me back to my channel. Talk to you soon. Bye.